BC! Hey, how's everyone doing? Bit of a night live needle drop here. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Perfect. Alright, as you can see I've got The Cure's 17 Seconds playing behind me, their second album. Definitely in my top 4 Cure records. It's their second album and it's brilliant, so there we go. Alright, I've got a whole pile of records that arrived that I bought on my Wheel tour. So I bought them about 4 months ago and they've just come through the mail now. Well, just not through the mail, but they've come to me, which is a long story, but I won't explain that. So I'll just quickly go through them all and yeah, do what I usually do. It's Saturday night here and it's about 8 o'clock. Let's have a look. 7:48, and I've got a big night of cranking through these records and having a good time. So yeah. Cheers guys. Alright, first one up. King Cruel. So this is King Cruel is a kid. He's literally a kid. I think he's about 17 years old. From the UK. He's like a sort of a self-styled producer guy. He's looks very much like Rick Astley of 80s fame. Yes, so there we go. So it's sort of a atmospheric indie rock record. Very heavy on the sound effects and atmospherics, and it just sounds like a really cold, wet album. It sounds like England basically. Yeah, I think there's a couple of songs where he sort of sings on it, but yeah, I just really enjoy it. I really like the track Portrait in Black and Blue, so you can check that out on the YouTubes if you're interested. But yeah, pick this up in Germany. Germany? Yeah, Germany. So there we go. King Cruel. Check it out. That's his EP, by the way, so there's about 5 tracks on there. Good stuff. Next one, Curtis Mayfield. This is his debut album. I've got to admit, all I know from this one is obviously Move On Up, the big one, but I picked it up and it's brilliant. It's really, really funky. Comes with a cool gatefold. And a great cover, and it's also on, I don't know much about this label, Curtin Records, which I think is his own label. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, I know it's a cool label and it sounds fantastic and I'm really happy with that. So that's Curtis Mayfield. Funky. I got that in Berlin too. Also in Berlin, I think I put all the Berlin ones together. Cannibal Adderley Sextet Nippon Soul. So this is live in Tokyo, so I think this is the first ever jazz recording for a live audience in Tokyo, and it's a really great album. It's probably one of the ones that really got me into jazz, and I was really happy to find this. It's on Riverside. It's really tight playing. It's got Nat Adderley and Yusuf Lateef in it. Yeah, it's got, yeah, I don't know, I just really enjoy it. It's really cool to hear jazz in a live environment. You can hear, it sounds like a jazz environment in a live environment. You hear the audience's appreciation, and yeah, there's definitely a really cool energy going on here that you don't get in a lot of jazz records, but I highly recommend that. Nippon Soul, Cannibal Adderley Sextet. More jazz, also from Berlin. The Rump Roller by Lee Morgan. So this is on Blue Note Records. It sounds really similar to his, I think this is released after The Sidewinder by Lee Morgan. Similar artwork, similar style artwork too. It's just a standard jazz. Lee Morgan's a trumpeter, so that sort of leads the way. Yeah, just good to fill up the Blue Note collection there, and also just cool to have in general because I like the artwork a lot. Lee Morgan, the Rump Roller. Okay, new metal time, year 2000. Teenage Rick James, who had really big hair, believe it or not. It was like an afro that sort of went that way and that way, but not up. It was really weird, sort of like a big square. Yeah, so this is a reissue that I picked up in Copenhagen. Yeah, Changing the House of Flies is like the song that everyone sort of thinks when they hear Deftones. This is on here. But the rest of the album is actually pretty great. I haven't heard this yet, literally it's in my iPod to listen to tonight, but I'm sure it sounds great. Not much to say really, it's just new metal. Yeah. Oh. Slow Dive, Just for a Day. This is I think this is their second full album. It was originally on Creation, but this is a music on vinyl reissue. Shoegaze, really, as you would expect from these guys. Pretty standard, but good listen. There you go. Oh, this one's already out of the packet. I didn't mean to do that. This is also Slow Down. This is Slow Dive, not Slow Down. Maybe I should slow down. Pygmalion, Slow Dive. This is their last album before they got dropped by the label. I think this is maybe their third album, and it was on Creation. Yeah, it was on Creation, so it was released in 1995, and this is completely different to the other stuff. It's more ambient, and there's no wall of sound. It's just all very delicate and subtle, and yeah, it's really beautiful music. I can sort of see why they get dropped because it's nowhere near the shoegaze sound at all. But it's actually my favourite album by far now, and it's on very cool vinyl. It's on like a toothpastey colour. It reminds me of like spearmint. I'm not sure if you can see from here, but it's like a bluey colour with like bits of toothpastey marble in it. Yeah, so there you go. Very cool. Not sure if I said already, but that's the music on vinyl reissue. Whoa, that didn't work. But there you go. Okay. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Picked this up in Brussels, and I remember it was snowing really hard, and I walked into a record store. I remember digging through records and looking out the window at the snow, and that was pretty cool because we don't really get snow in Australia. In fact, we don't ever get snow in Australia, so you guys are probably sick of it in the US and the UK and Europe, but I love the snow. Anyway, that's unrelated to this, because this is a great album. This is, yeah, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, Moaning, Blue Note 4003. I've heard this before on the internet, but I haven't listened to this yet on vinyl. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Lee Morgan's also on this, so I'm sort of expecting, I sort of know what it's going to sound like, but yeah, cool, there you go. Okay. Charlie Mingus, The Alternate Moods of Tijuana. Now the reason I bought this one and not Tijuana Moods, like this is alternate versions of Tijuana Moods, which is the album. Similar artwork. Yeah, this is like it's got the alternate text, but it's got a track on here which the original doesn't have, called A Colloquial Dream, which is just a really beautiful track. It's a guy talking about life, I imagine, in New York, and what it's like to listen to jazz and be in that city and at that time in this sort of the late 50s, early 60s, and he's talking about how he can't pay his rent because he's addicted to jazz, and just, yeah, it's just a really little beautiful story, and I couldn't find that on any other rec on vinyl. I couldn't find it apart from this alternate version. So, and there's a 10-minute version. He talks for a long time, but this is only a 3-minute one, which is pretty disappointing. But it's still cool to have it. But yeah, it's just a really beautiful track, and it really captures to me what I feel jazz is about. Yeah, I would say I think I should say it's narrating. So he's describing a day in the life sort of thing of this guy who's addicted to jazz music living in New York. Maybe it's not New York, it's probably Tijuana, considering it's called Tijuana Moods, but to me it's New York. Because he's talking about uptown and downtown. I don't know. Anyway, great album, great cover. Charles Mingus, what a cool bass player he is. Achtung, baby! Everyone knows this album. This is a German pressing actually, which is kind of cool. Found that also in Copenhagen. There's like 4 of these just sitting there, and I got them for really cheap, like $12 or something. But very cool to have this. You don't see this ever in the wild. So that adds to the U2 collection. 1991 this came out. Everyone knows one even better than the real thing. Mysterious Ways, etc., etc. This is their one with like the penis on it too. So it's like the unblurred out version. So there you go. Island Records, Achtung, Baby. Just a quick drink. Oh, I love that.